Right now, as you watch this, our galaxy, the Milky Way, is already starting to merge with the Andromeda galaxy. This isn't something that will only happen in a distant future. In fact, this colossal collision has already begun, and we're living through this story. When you look up at the night sky, you only see a tiny part of the true size of our galaxy. That's because galaxies aren't made of just stars and clouds of gas. They're surrounded by huge invisible blankets of dark matter and superheated gas, called halos. Think of these halos like Earth's atmosphere. You can't see it, but it's there, extending far beyond what we can see with the naked eye. The Milky Way's halo, for example, stretches more than 1 million light-years in every direction. To help you visualize it, if the visible disk of our galaxy were shrunk down to the size of a dinner plate, the halo would be bigger than your entire house. Now here's the interesting part. The halos of the Milky Way and Andromeda are already touching and interacting. Even though Andromeda is about 2.5 million light-years away from us, its halo extends roughly 2 million light-years, far enough to overlap with ours. And these two gigantic clouds are colliding at over 400,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, you could travel from Earth to the Moon in less than an hour. But how did astronomers discover this? Using the Hubble Space Telescope, they observed quasars, extremely bright and distant objects that sit behind Andromeda. When the light from these quasars passes through Andromeda's halo, it leaves specific signatures, revealing where the gas is and how far it goes. It's like a cosmic X-ray scan. Before we continue, it's worth grasping the scale of this collision. You've probably heard that Andromeda is larger than the Milky Way, and that's true. But that's only the beginning. When these two giant galaxies merge, they'll create one of the largest galaxies in our entire cosmic neighborhood. And as impressive as that sounds, there are galaxies out there that are much bigger. One example is IC 1101, a galaxy so absurdly huge that, if it were in place of the Milky Way, it would swallow both us and Andromeda with room to spare. It's over 50 times the size of our galaxy and contains more than 100 trillion stars. But back to what's happening now. Even though they're separated by millions of light years, the halos of the two galaxies have already started to blend together. It's like two massive clouds lightly touching in the night sky, setting the stage for a spectacle that will truly unfold. Billions of years from now, when the visible galaxies finally meet. For now, there are no explosions or Hollywood-style sci-fi scenes. The gas in these regions is so thin that the encounter is more like a gentle mist than a violent storm. So no shockwaves or bursts of new stars, at least not yet. The real cosmic show begins about 4.5 billion years from now, when the visible disks of the two galaxies start to merge. At that point, the shapes of the galaxies will distort, creating long arms of stars stretching across space. The night sky on Earth will look completely different. Imagine looking up and seeing a huge galaxy covering almost a quarter of the visible sky. As the centers of the two galaxies get closer, they'll orbit each other like dancers in a cosmic ballet that will last millions of years. Billions of stars will be flung into new orbits. But here's the curious part. Even with so many stars packed together, actual collisions between them will be extremely rare. The space between stars is so vast that most will just pass by each other, like ships crossing in the open sea. At the end of this dance, the supermassive black holes at the center of each galaxy will also merge, forming a single gigantic black hole with a mass equivalent to more than 4 billion suns. This merger will send gravitational waves rippling through the fabric of space-time. And what about our solar system? The good news is that it will probably survive all this intact. The bad news is that the sun and its planets might be flung into a new orbit, shifting their place in the galaxy like a pinball bouncing around in this cosmic game. So as you watch these videos, we're witnessing the beginning of one of the grandest events in the history of our galaxy. The collision has already begun, and every day we're closer to the final merger that will transform the Milky Way and Andromeda into something completely new. A giant elliptical galaxy that future astronomers might call Milkomeda. What other mysteries does this cosmic ballet hide? What more will we discover as we watch this merger unfold? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, we're living through one of the most fascinating chapters in the story of our galaxy. If you found all this amazing, subscribe for more astronomy content.